Going to Disney isn't just a walk in the park, but packing a bag can make your day a little bit easier. I'm Beth from Team Clark, and I've been lucky enough to go to Disney a few times with my family and on my own, and I think I've picked up some pretty useful tips along the way. I'm gonna show you what I pack in my bag for the parks and why you probably wanna bring something similar. Not everybody likes to bring bags into the park because you do have to go through the bag check line at security, but if you're going to be in the parks all day, I promise it's worth it. There are a lot of essentials in here that are going to make your day a whole lot easier and save you some money. I recommend a small crossbody bag like this one because it goes over one shoulder, it's not too bulky, and it holds everything I need. Plus, it has this water bottle holder on the side, which I find super useful. That way, if your bottle sweats, all of the stuff on the inside of your bag isn't getting wet too. Another useful thing to look for are inside pockets in a backpack, but if you don't have or find a good backpack with inside pockets, you can always separate things with Ziploc bags inside so you can find things quickly and easily. If you're traveling with really young children, you probably have a diaper bag. You can always put these items in a big Ziploc in your diaper bag if you have room. That way you still have some park essentials and you don't have to do double duty carrying even more things. You'll likely be wearing some of the items that I mentioned or putting them in your pockets, but you do want to make sure you have room in your bag for all of them in case you get tired of having it in a certain spot all day. Now let's get packing. First, one thing you absolutely need if you're going to Walt Disney World in Florida is a magic band. And I guess need is a strong word, but it does make your life a little bit easier. Your magic band is connected to your My Disney Experience app, and you can store your Disney Resort room key, your ticket, and payment information on it. So it's kind of an all-in-one. Now, if you're not comfortable storing all of that information on there, you don't have to, but it does make your life a little easier when you're in the parks. So one thing you'll definitely need is a water bottle. Staying hydrated is super important, especially when you're on the go and in the sun all day. If you can freeze or partially freeze one, I highly recommend that. That way, as the day goes on, it melts down and stays cool. If you don't bring a water bottle, you can request a cup of ice water at any quick service counter in the parks, but you likely won't be able to or want to stop every time you're thirsty. Highly recommend bringing a water bottle. And if you want to cover up the taste of that Florida tap water, you can always bring a drink mix. You can do lemonade, tea, Kool-Aid, anything fruity. They're so easy and fun to just pack in your bag, and that way you're not just drinking water all day, but you are staying hydrated. Another thing you'll want to bring is Ziploc bags. These can be super helpful for a lot of things. Other than organizing your bag, you can put your phone in them during a water ride, or if there's a sudden shower that just pops up, you'll definitely want some extras in your backpack. And this is really cute. When I went to Disneyland in California and went on Splash Mountain, they gave us branded Ziploc bags. Now, I have never had this happen in Florida, so count your blessings if you get one because this is pretty darn cute. Everybody knows that when you have a bag, you need some snacks to put in it. Disney does let you bring a whole cooler of food if you want to have a picnic lunch, but just packing a couple snacks in your backpack is a great way to save money and a great way to curb that hunger if you still have a little while before your reservation or you're in a long line and you really want something, or if you're trying to resist the popcorn smell that they pump through the parks, because that's pretty real and it's very, very difficult to resist. The next thing, hand sanitizer. I promise, even if you're not the kind of person who uses this on a daily basis, you're probably gonna want it. There are tons of people at Disney, there are tons of rides and railings and all kinds of things that you're not even thinking about that you're going to touch. So I always bring wipes and a little bit of the liquid to put in your hands. And if you're traveling with kids, you know you're gonna need it, so we're gonna put it in the bag. So whether you're at Disney World or Disneyland, you know you're gonna need this. You're gonna be outside a lot of the day, and you gotta reapply even on overcast days. I know I need to reapply a lot, so maybe you need a tube bigger than this, but usually if you have a full one of these, little tubes, you can probably get away with it. I always need sunglasses. I can barely leave my house without them anyway. You gotta put these in the bag too. Chapstick is always important, so you gotta make sure you put it in. Another thing you're gonna wanna put in the bag is a portable phone charger. You're gonna be using your phone all day with your My Disney Experience app and your fast passes and for entertainment in line. So you gotta put one of these in the bag. If you don't have a portable phone charger or you forget it on your trip, if you have a cable to charge your phone, you can give your phone over to guest relations. I know, a little scary, but you can go eat lunch or ride a couple rides and come back and you'll be all charged up. One thing that's a little silly, but you still might want, is a poncho. There are a lot of pop-up showers and you might want to ride some water rides, and a poncho is a great idea. Even if you don't mind getting wet or you would rather wear a rain jacket instead, you can always wrap your bag in it to keep it dry. Another thing you can bring to help you stay dry or to dry off after you get a little bit wet are small towels. The dollar store sells these little growing towels, and a lot of times they'll be Disney themed. So you can get these little packs and just throw them right in your bag. We have one from a Disney trip from a very long time ago. It's obviously very old and faded, but it has served us very well, and we bring it on a lot of Disney trips. So make sure to put these in your bag too. Nothing will ruin your day like wet socks. I absolutely hate having them. So I always make sure to pack a small pair of socks in the bottom of my bag. You might not need them, but I really like having that peace of mind just so I don't have to deal with wet socks and maybe blisters. So gotta put them in the bag. If you have them, you might want to put some sandals in your bag too. Only do this if they fit or if they're not too heavy, because you can switch out your shoes on water rides and not have to worry about those wet socks that really freak me out. I don't know why, but I always end up needing tissues. So grab a little pack of them or grab a couple from the box in your room, put them in a little Ziploc bag, and put them in your backpack for the park. The next thing you're probably going to want is a small first aid kit. You can put Band-Aids, antiseptic wipes, feminine products in here, and it'll fit perfectly. You probably don't want to go all the way to the first aid station in the parks just to go get a Band-Aid, but you're definitely going to want to carry them just in case. I never go anywhere without a hairband, so you're probably going to want to have one around your wrist if you have long hair. Even if you don't have long hair, you might want to bring a hat. It can keep the sun off your face in the summer. You can bring a little beanie in the winter to keep your ears warm. Plus, it'll keep your hair from whipping around your face on all of those fast rides. Whether you just want to jot something down when you're in the park or you want an autograph from your favorite character, a pen and paper and a Sharpie are great little things that you can toss in your bag pretty easily. You probably won't need your whole wallet if you're going into the parks, so I would highly recommend paring down and bringing a little card carrier or a little pouch with you to just throw in your backpack. Plus, if you bring this little pouch, you might even be able to cut down on the little first aid kit that I had you throw in earlier. You could put your Band-Aids and antiseptic wipes right in here. Bringing layers is important even when it's the hot and sticky Florida summer. I always bring a little lightweight jacket or a sweater because I get cold in restaurants, you can get cold on those indoor parts of lines, and when they blast the AC on the bus at the end of a really long day. Another thing that's great to have while you're in the park are games on your phone. The parks do have Wi-Fi, but I highly recommend downloading some offline games, something that you can play as a group. Something that's really fun that my family and I have done is play Heads Up in line. Heads Up has a special Disney version that you can download for free while you're in the park, and it's so fun to play as a group. We saw other people playing it in line, decided to download it ourselves. Everyone wanted to get in on it. It's a really, really fun way to pass the time. Other than having games on your phone, you're probably going to want to have some toys and activity books to play with while you're in line and waiting, especially if you have small kids with you. These toys can make your trip a little bit more magical and maybe a little bit more manageable too. If you give a kid something like this at the right time, like when you're in a really long line, or when you're at a night parade and all the kids around have a bunch of light up toys that cost a fortune right from Disney, you can pull one right out of your bag and your kid will be just as happy. You can watch our other video about how to pack for Disney to learn more about how to save on these types of items. If you're going to Disney when it's hot, You don't have to bring these, but I highly recommend at least one of them. You can bring a little spray bottle, you can get them at the dollar store, and just put some water in it and mist off whenever you need. Another thing that you could even just put around your neck is this little portable fan. Our team member Nicole got this one off Amazon for $9, and it's worth every penny if you're gonna stay cool all day in the parks. Another thing you might want to bring are hand warmers, a little roll-up blanket. This has some Velcro that kind of holds it in place. If you have a spot on your backpack where you can maybe carabiner this blanket on, it will be so helpful if you're going to a night show. I wish I had one of these when my family went to the candlelight processional at Epcot during Christmas time. We had to go to a nearby shop to buy a blanket, but the shop was out of blankets because everybody was cold. So we had to buy a beach towel in order to get a blanket with purchase because they weren't just selling the blankets. That was kind of a ripoff, but I definitely could have avoided it had we had a little blanket like this. That's everything I keep in my Disney Go bag, but what about you? Let us know what you bring into the parks to save money in the comments below. You can watch some of our other videos to learn more about how to save money at Disney and get more info for your wallet at clark.com.